for having me in the film. And yeah.
Oh, it's so exciting, Nathalie. Tell me how how you made the film, why you made the film, why you participated in the festival, why, if it was first year in San Francisco, and
There's so many different ways that I um, come up with story.
mm,
So it starts sort of a seed of an idea. But in the end, I think what I was expressing is I came out later in life and I had a very difficult relationship with my mother.
mm,
And at the same time, I was craving eldership. It was a very strange feeling to come out older in life because I don't have that history in the community.
mm,
And everybody that I was around, I was a mom. Um, my my child at the time was going through a very difficult time. They're trans, and yeah, and then the story just came together from different ideas, different relationships. Yeah.
I love that you're sharing that with us. I'm also a mom and came out later in life. I could accept the B, but I couldn't move myself all the way to the L.
Right.
In
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
parents, in my, I thought I would lose my family, and so I took some
Yeah.
time. My husband, of course, at the time knew before we got married. And then, we just rolled with life in this way.
Right.
But that
Right.
that desire to come out, to tell the truth, to be who you are,
Hmm.
this piece is so beautiful. The
Oh,
Tailor.
thank you.
It's so
Thank you.
beautiful. It's exquisite, in terms of the photography, in terms of the choices, in terms of the unpredictability of the characters and their relationship.
Right.
It's really, really rich and beautiful. Can you talk a little bit about how the premise of the story came to you and where you found it?
Yeah. Well, my background is in acting.
Mm,
So I, throughout the years, have read hundreds of plays.
yeah.
So I find that my storytelling is really character based. So I'll start with a character and then sort of go on a journey with them. Um, the story started about this experience somebody had with a tailor, an elderly tailor. And, they had gone into the shop and had this really intimate moment of being pinned by this man. And so I actually started thinking about the tailor. And then the other character, my partner is female assigned at birth, but presents more masculine.
Mm,
And at the time, there was a around the time I was having a lot of difficulty with my mother. I had I also teach acting. I had a student that was coming out that was having a difficult relationship with their mother. They came from a very religious background. So it was kind of it embodied a few different people and their struggles with their parent.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. There is, there is, according to me, of course, some struggle in the film, but that somehow is overcome from my perspective at the deep love and trust
Hmm.
and trying on and the development between the characters. So I love that it's,
Hmm.
that maybe the story is born of struggle, but the resolution in the film is so beautiful. Where does that
Yeah.
is that out of?
It comes from my feeling of, sometimes you meet somebody and it's just a moment that you spend with them. It's not a lot of time, but they completely alter the direction that you're going in life.
Yes.
You have this profound meeting. It could be as simple as you're sitting at a bus stop and somebody says something to you, or you spend a bit of time with them, but their purpose was really to change sort of your course of your life, you
Mhm.
know? And this is somebody who was older and had been closeted, and the impact that had to his family and the relationship with his wife. And in our story, we had that he was a cross-dresser and practiced this at his shop,
Mm.
that he'd been in love with a man at one point, and just sort of like the what what happens when you get to a certain age and you've lived life in the closet.
Mm.
And so I think this person was trying to pass on that you just need to be yourself. Like you have to have the courage to be yourself, you know?
Mhm. Yes, yes, and that, I know that not all of our viewers for this interview will have seen the film, so I don't in any way wanna give it away, and I want to encourage people to see it because it's so,
Right.
beautiful, and talk a little bit about there's a military overlay in this
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I we looked at the character, we made decisions on based on his age and where he was coming from, that he most probably had served in the Korean War.
Mm.
And that this experience sometimes of when men are at war, or how they sometimes develop homosexual relationships and how dangerous that is, and it's still dangerous in Korea.
Mm.
And so we really explored that, and perhaps that was part of the things that it definitely helped sort of keep him in the closet, but
Mm.
also to it spoke to the power of the connection that he would have had with this person, to take the risks that he did to be with him.
Yes.
And and yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the intergenerational aspect of this film too. Like we really are celebrating in so many different ways, so many different perspectives through your lens. And it's
Hmm.
really very, very beautiful. The children in the background, the parent in the background, the coming together
Hmm.
of these two characters, this rich unfolding between them of
Hmm.
who they can be, and then this dream sequence of
Hmm.
ye
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I want you to know that I felt it, like, I feel
Yeah.
it still, the beauty
Yeah.
and the power of the film that you've made, and the excellence that you have demonstrated through the understanding of character and the crafting of story.
For me, I always want the audience to have sort of an empathetic experience, to sort of be able to really understand the character or put themselves in the character's place. Visually, I like a more naturalistic style. I just make movies that I like. I like it, and then hopefully somebody else will like it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that, I love that. Why did you want this one to be shown at the San Francisco Queer Film Festival?
Well, I read sort of, what different festivals' mandates were, what they were, and I just really sent it into places that spoke to me, or I felt I would fit in. Yeah.
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 What is your journey from actor to director now? How does that
Directing
work for you?
directing is hard in the
Yeah.
sense that um I don't necessarily have the personality to be a leader.
Mm.
So I it's just important who I surround myself with,
Mm.
and that the process is gentle and um yeah, because I think I don't envision myself as having or being a person that has um yeah, that is a natural leader or director,
Mm.
but I think you can be, even doesn't matter what your personality is. If you have the vision and you can hold on to that vision, then that's what's important.
I love that. And in the vision, like you, of course, see it before you make it, right? Do you see everything all the way through the crafting of script in a visual way, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It changes a lot when you get the location. So the location changes the vision because the location has its own um, feeling, and you need to sort of adjust
Mm,
to the location. So I really can't start thinking of what the shots will look like until I see the location.
okay.
So I have one story when I create the story that's in my head,
Mm,
and then it shifts once I cast the people and see the location, then it shifts again.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you
Yeah.
surprised by the outcome for this film particularly? Did anything twist and change in a way that's different from your original vision?
I I didn't screen test the two people together. And I don't think I anticipated the chemistry between the two.
Yeah. I'm so
Yeah.
surprised by it. It's so beautiful and it catches me
Yeah.
so off guard as a viewer. I'm so
Yeah.
taken with what happens in that connection between those actors.
Yeah. They
And
were very generous.
yeah,
It takes a lot to open up to somebody that way where people can actually feel the connection.
yes.
So both characters are, yeah, they're pretty
Really
special.
stunning, like stunning as human beings on the screen, and I know they're embodying characters, but the beauty of who they are is what translated to me from seeing your
Yeah.
picture. So really
Yeah.
extraordinary job,
Oh,
casting,
thank you.
beautiful, beautiful script, gorgeous film. Why do you think it's important to tell queer stories?
That's a good question. I just want I just want everyone to feel accepted and um to be eh, to have a place in society where they don't feel that at any moment their rights could be taken away, or that there's any hatred. If I can, through storytelling, let people have an empathetic experience of what someone is going through, then maybe they'll they'll have an understanding that they didn't have before. They can relate in a way that they couldn't before to a person,
Mm,
and that will shift their feelings towards queer people. Or yeah.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. What would you say to you in your early years of, I don't know how you would characterize those years of not being the you are now. How would you talk about that arc and who you've become? And
Oh my gosh. I'm 55, and when I was, I had a best friend very young, like
mhm,
elementary school best friend. And and we were accused of being lesbians, and I didn't know what that meant, but I thought it was wrong.
mm,
And quite frankly, I went to school, into high school, with nobody that was out. I
mm,
didn't even I didn't even think of that possibility. It wasn't yeah. And then what recently, having a discussion with my son, who was trans, who expressed himself as a boy young, from about the age of 2 to 5, and then started school
mm,
and was ostracized, and then grew out his hair and fully embodied um, trying to be a girl,
mm, mm,
and then had to sort of find himself again.
mm,
And he said to me, because I always thought of myself as I was heterosexual, and then somehow I just jumped tracks and was gay. But he said, no, I think it was always there, but you so repressed it that you were in complete denial,
mm,
you know?
mm,
So I think I would have tried to tell myself to not listen to what other people say, you know?
Yeah.
My instincts were right when I was young.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love the journey that you've had, both, inside your own body's knowing, and then as a mother of someone
Hmm.
you didn't break. Like, I had 2 rules. I have 3 kids, and my rules were: 1, don't break them, and 2, give
Right.
them something really interesting to say in therapy.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And then I felt like
yeah,
I could accomplish motherhood when I had
yeah.
that frame. You didn't break your child? Your child is
Well, I could have. Like, the thing with my child is he also has autism.
mm,
So um he was assigned female at birth, and people girls, although he's not a girl, but girls typically were not getting identified as being on the autism spectrum because they didn't present like the boys did.
mm,
Only now did he recently get a diagnosis.
mm,
So at the time, um, he he didn't understand social norms, and I actually thought he was confused and he didn't know that he was a girl.
mm,
So I was always redirecting, like, no, this is the girls section of the clothing department. No, this is like, I didn't do gender specific toys, but I definitely thought, because this started happening at age 2.
mm, mm,
So I was like, no, this is, and one of the first words that he spoke was like, no pink. Like,
mm.
it was in retrospect, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because I I didn't see all the struggle that he had. I missed it, you know? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love you. I honor that journey. I know how hard momming is. It's a big damn deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Because I thought I would be so open. But I didn't do it consciously. It wasn't like, oh, I don't want him to be trans. It wasn't that. It was completely, I have this ability to just like be in some sort of, yeah, just miss it.
mm,
And I just
mm.
don't want other people to miss it.
I
you
think
know?
that's beautiful. I think that that's, that you're honest about what it was.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm
Thank you.
just observing in this conversation, but so grateful for the rich journey of your family and how that extends into the art that you make.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's very, very, very
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
What does it mean to win an award for your
Oh my
film?
gosh, I'm so thankful and honored, and I feel seen.
Mm,
Um, I feel I feel really hopeful. I'm excited.
yeah, yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Where will the Taylor? What are the plans for this film beyond the festival
I think
circuit?
it's
And
it has been picked up for distribution. So that's great. So more audiences will see it.
I want everyone on
Yeah.
the planet to see it. It's so beautiful. It's so healing. The
Yeah.
and I have a master's degree in transformative art, which is essentially art and healing, and how to use art to heal the self, the dyad, the family, the community, and the earth. And this festival is so full of the stories that give us back
Mm.
room and deep appreciation, whether it's our individuated journey or if it's our collective humanity. There is so much healing in this film that
Oh,
is
thank you.
just in the individuals in the film, in the collaboration between the two of them. And I get to imagine in the extended families outside the frame, outside the life that gets
Yeah.
shown in the pictures, there's some growth going on,
Yeah. Yeah.
for people. And that I think is so beautiful. So I do want everyone on the planet to see this, the Tailor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
congratulations on a distribution
Thank you
deal.
so
That is
much.
so wonderful. Now, what is next for you as a filmmaker? New projects? New
I'm going to camera next week. I'm writing, yeah, I'm writing a story called Latchkey.
Okay.
And it's a story about two 6-year-olds that are home alone after school and get into a whole lot of trouble. And it's based on my generation where I grew up, you know, coming home after school and um, being alone. And most people remember that time as a really like beautiful time where they had all this freedom. But I lived in the city. I was an only child. It wasn't as um picture perfect.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So, and then I have another story which is more, it's a love story and is based on my coming out. It's based on me falling in love with another woman. And yeah.
I want that one too.
Yeah.
I want them both. We are contemporaries. We share the same number in this time. So talk
Yeah.
about Latchkey. Of course, I remember, friends and colleagues and ways that we were um,
Yeah.
allowed to be in some sort of freedom we weren't ready to anticipate.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then, of course, the love story, the coming out love story is such a beautiful, I'm excited
Yes.
about that.
And the characters will be older. They'll be like, I mean, I came out, I was 48. So that's around the age of the characters.
Lovely.
So yeah. It's
Yeah,
just an
lovely.
older voice, that's what
Well,
I
and
provide.
there's a space of like, I feel grateful I got to live whole lives inside this
Mm,
lifetime,
right.
and yet come to my lesbian status as a novice, like a 55-year-old novice.
Yeah.
It's like that's a
Yeah.
whole new set of, oh my goodness, what I have no idea what I'm doing, right? Like in
Yeah.
terms of how to
Yeah.
be or engage. So I'm excited about your story. I need it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's
that I
yeah.
think is the way that I feel about all of these stories. Like I need them in the world. Like where is this narrative?
Hmm. Hmm.
Where can I
Hmm.
use movies like medicine? Where can I prescribe these
Yeah.
films? They're so
Yeah.
necessary. And of course, in our number, like I remember Ellen's Kiss. That was
Yeah. Yeah.
right. So from
Yeah.
Ellen's
Yeah.
Kiss to Modern
Hmm.
Family, some things
Hmm.
have shifted, and yet the level of beauty and deep honesty that's articulated through the winning films in this festival, yours particularly, that is not easily available.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of how you want the industry to develop for queer stories?
Gosh, I just want to have films where people from all different experiences can relate to it.
Mm,
I'm going to keep making films that I relate to and that I are made for me.
yes,
And hopefully there's a whole, group of people that are in the same place as I am and that can relate to it.
yes. There are more of us every day, I hope.
Yeah.
I hope. I want
Yeah.
to ask you, the first filmmaker I interviewed who won, uh,
Mhm.
sold his sold his car, put his apartment up for rent, and moved in with his folks to make his film. How did you finance yours?
I put it on my line of credit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And which is scary at this age because I'm like, okay, well, now I have to spend another 5 years working. I'm not going to
Mhm,
retire at the age that I want to retire,
mhm.
but it was that important to me.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
did you know that? How do you know risk to make this art? What is that inside of you?
I just think being an artist and being able to express myself as an artist, there's, I mean, the precursor to it really is that a year before I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
Mm.
And at the time, I was given, worst case scenario, 3 to 5 years to live. And so I think somewhere in my subconscious, I just wanted to leave something behind. You know, I felt that I hadn't really um, expressed myself as an artist enough. And what could I do to leave something behind? Yeah.
I love you. Thank you for your
Yeah.
life's art. Thank you for your honesty in this time. Thank you for sharing the depth of these spaces that, awaken for you. And thank you for
Yeah.
letting us know the importance of the art. I think that this sense of, if it's a short, if it's a documentary, if it's a film that we're showing, it's, people put it on their credit cards. They did crazy
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
to make it
Yeah. Yeah.
possible. And
Yeah.
we as viewers can show up and see it and love it. And that is something that says
Yeah.
thank you. And thank you for your life and for your art and for your heart and how it
Oh,
translates in the film and what it
thank
gives me
you.
as possibility and us as the San Francisco Queer Film Festival. We hope you will come back with more and more
Yes.
films.
Yes.
I want to
I
see all of
will.
them, all of them.
Yes. 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 I will.
And as there are special, things that we can do with you, we want to do them. We want to keep shining that spotlight on your work.
Oh, thank you.
Your
Thank you
artistry.
so much. It's so lovely getting to meet you.
I'm so honored as well.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very grateful.